Hey friends, maybe this is working. We have a long run today. It's gonna be terrible. I'm just checking some stuff on my phone to make sure everything's running the way we would expect. And then we are going to go brave 12 degrees Fahrenheit, which I just don't want to do this. I ran a half marathon last Saturday. It's already Friday. This is my first run since the half marathon. It is just ugly outside. So bad. But it's 5:30 a.m. so hopefully we have a good time. Alright, let me check YouTube and see if that's working. Content. Go to my channel. I'm on the wrong thing. But yeah, we woke up at like 4:30, did our routine, got out here, did some comments on Skool. All good stuff, and we will be live streaming on Skool and YouTube, which is a lot of fun. Let's see, is it working? Oh, I think I was able to open it. Let's check. Oh look, it's me in a car. Very exciting. Looks like I'm the top messenger right now. Very cool. So we'll start with YouTube Live. And we'll jump between that and Skool. But I will say this experiment with this pocket Wi-Fi has been pretty fantastic. I'm also stalling because I don't want to do this. I don't want to put on my gloves and walk outside, but we have to make ourselves because the kids are going to wake up regardless, right? It's all about the children. Alright, let's see. So, what are we going to do? We're going to turn off the car. We're going to put on our glove after we put the keys in our pocket after we get out of the car. Oh, God, it's going to be cold. Alright, let's pop you on my head. Do we want to pop you on my head? Yeah, we'll pop you on my head. At least for the beginning of this. It's just too awful, guys. We might have to stop these runs, okay? It's becoming dangerous in Chicago. I need a face mask as well, a face shield. Let's see. That reloads. Excellent. Turn that off. Grab my glove. Alright. Phone. See how frosty my car still is? GoPro, batteries, keys. Can't go in yet. This goes in the pocket. This is a terrible mistake. Why are we making these kinds of mistakes, friends? Stay. You're very expensive. Alright, all gloves are taken off. Lock the car. Put it in back pocket. We're just trying to pump ourselves up for this next couple stupid minutes. It's only 40 minutes. It's a lot less than the 2 hours and 37 minutes it took to run the half marathon, right? God, that was that was such a dumb idea, but we did it. All right, so what I need to do is fix my pants. All right, we had friends from the Philippines join, friends from Japan. It was pretty cool, actually. It was a good run for as awful as it was. I mean, I think that's why I do this crap, is like, it is very interesting. Oh, my fingers are losing fidelity as we speak. Whew. Alright, pull that down. Those layers are set up. Alright, glove in left hand. We'll make this the grabbing glove for phone. Put this in pocket. Whew. application. Hi friends, somebody's here. Oh my god. We're gonna run. It's really stupid. Really stupid choices are about to happen here. Alright. And then we need to put the other glove on. Don't slide off my car and brake, please. We're double gloving today. Brr. Frickin' A. Alright. Let's go. Now, good morning, friends. If you've never been here before, which is totally fine, my name is Joe. I'm in Chicago. It's 12 degrees, excluding wind chill. And we're gonna do another one of our danger runs, because what's the point of life if you don't make stupid choices? We are going out in the wilderness, which means if we slip and break an ankle, we will freeze to death in probably about 7 minutes. So we're not gonna slip and do that. That seems like a bad idea. But it should be fun, kind of. And then this is connected with my community on Skool. I love Skool friends. You're all beautiful, wonderful people. Woo! Oh shoot, I forgot to lock my screen's orientation. Turn off that auto rotate. I have to use my nose. These gloves say they're touch screenable, but it's all a grand lie. But we're walking to the starting position. We're starting while there's still stars out. It should be a hoot. Oh my goodness. And it'll be dark pretty much the whole time, so this will kind of turn into an ASMR podcast. Sorry, not sorry. But fingers are already chilling quick, man. It's brutal out there. Whew. Let me cross. Don't speed up, stop. Don't kill me. Don't kill me. I just want to cross the street. I want to live. Alright. So it's almost that lovely time where I put you on my head. Should be quite a lot of fun. I know you're all incredibly excited. Just as excited as I am, I'm sure. Alright. Okay. It's gonna be okay. It could always be worse. It could always be worse. Alright, here's what we're gonna do. I'm going to put you back on my head, and we're gonna start. Whoo, freaking cold! It's also probably gonna be windy. That's normal. We're in a big like prairie, and I don't know the path perfectly, so there's also the added risk of just being lost in here and dying. You think I'm being dramatic? That's fine. You could think whatever you want. You're an adult. You'll see me counting turns and stuff so I don't die. All right, let's go. Frickin' A. So the goal is 3 miles, which is less than 13.1. So we should have it in us. Luckily, there should really be a minimum amount of ice. I say that as I immediately see frosty ice in front of me. Like, shoot, it's one of those days. But GoPros are notoriously bad at operating in low light, so it'll be hard for you to appreciate the beauty I see, which is like dark gray trail, prairie grass. Maybe we'll get attacked by a coyote. That's a good story. I think I could fight off a ravaging dog. It's got sharper teeth than me, but I got feet. And I got a phone and a GoPro that I could use to fight back. But seeing as it normally takes people some time to join the live, we'll treat this kind of like a podcast. And what's on my brain today? Let's see. Had a very, we can talk about this. So let's discuss gamification. Oh, like, really? Yeah, gamification. And how you can leverage it to achieve your goals, but also how other people can leverage it to keep you from achieving your goals. Whew, chilly. Let me slow down my pace a little bit. I need a face mask. But on a platform called Skool, S-K-O-O-L, there's a very heavy use of gamification. It's a huge part of the culture. You bring people into a community, and there's a leaderboard. People want to climb to the top of the leaderboard. You create perks and incentives so they climb to the top of the leaderboard. It is a huge thing, right? And it's fun, and it gives people motivation. I mean, Duolingo uses gamification like crazy in order to get you to keep showing up. That annoying little green owl keeps yelling at you, and there's all these memes about it watching you. But within school leaders and kind of people that are actually curating communities like myself, gamification is also a thing. And unfortunately, it can incentivize behaviors that are contrary to what would help you build a great business. So let me explain. There's something called the grid. And the grid has, like, I think a span of 4 or 5 months, and it shows you Monday through Friday. And then it starts as all these little yellow boxes. And if you have up to 10 boxes or 10 activities per day on Skool, which is like, I believe, comments, posts, possibly DMs. I don't really know how they measure it. Your box goes from yellow to green. And then, ka-ching, you get that dopamine hit. And like it took me a while to become aware of this system. But what happens is you start to see certain leaders on this platform, and no shade to them, but it becomes, an idol's the wrong word, but it's viewed or perceived as this marker of success of, like, every box is 100% green the whole time, every day. And it shows that, like, you are all in as an entrepreneur. You're all there for your community, right? And in all seriousness, and this is some of the sentiment I got on a recent post, like, it's not that hard to do 10 activities a day on a platform like Skool. Totally doable. The problem
is if you have a full-time job, if you have 4 kids, like I do, if you care about your health and wellness, and you're trying to build a business as an entrepreneur, you need to be incredibly ruthless with where you put your time and effort. And there are certain seasons and times where you should be all in on that platform and engaging and getting your green boxes. But because it's like a small dopamine hit kind of thing, it is easier, this is where we run into problems, it's easier to open your app once a day, 3 times a day, 5 times a day, check your notifications, respond. It's more exciting than email at work, right? More exciting even than your social media, because you feel like by building these connections, building this community, you could build a business. So like downstream payments are coming from this, like you're an entrepreneur, you're doing your own thing. But at the same time, maybe the most important thing you should be doing right now is scripting your VSL, your video sales letter, or ironing out your onboarding process, making some thumbnails on Canva, doing your finances for your business. Like, there are all these other pieces that are critical, and by constantly jumping in and out of this context, chasing a green square, which we would never say we're willfully chasing it, but there's an ease in it. It'll always be easier to do 10 comments on random people's posts than to do 10 cold calls, or to set up 30 minutes with a friend to see what you're building would be of value to them. So I made a post because there's this is all like internal Skool culture. There's like a meme contest, and this one dude won like 10,000 bucks by making the best meme. And honestly, it was very, very good. It had like, it showed the grid. It was 100% green. There's like one square that was yellow, and it was like my therapist, so it seems to be bothering you today, and me, and then me shows the grid. And I just loved how like on the nose it was about this this aspect of Skool culture. And I made a post where I took the meme and I just said, is the grid like a vanity metric? Because I think in business there are many, many vanity metrics, and a vanity metric, I think, is exactly like it sounds. I think it's a term I coined. I don't know if I'm the one that figured out how to put these words together. But it's this idea, like, it's cold. This idea of like things that are measurable, that can be seen, that have a pseudo correlation with progress, but aren't really the core root activity that should be prioritized. So let me see if I can come up with a vanity metric. So I met with a director of a engineering franchise once at J&J, and he had multiple front-end projects that were progressing in real time. And you know, every week they'd have weekly stand-ups, and all the individual project directors would come in, report what they were working on, what challenges the team was having, whether or not they were on track, You know, they pull up their big schedules and share some lead time risks, you know, and every once in a while there'd be like a vanity metric, like, oh, we just finished our engineering build, or we just finished this testing, or these results seem really promising. Like stuff on the surface that made everyone feel like they sprinted towards the right activities and got some level of results. But for him, kind of a metric under the surface, because anyone could pull up a PowerPoint slide and bullshit, which is unfortunate but true. Like for him, his meter was, are you spending the money you committed to spend? And what that means is at the start of the year, or really the end of a year, project directors will have these what would it take conversations, where they talk about what it would take to actually get their project off the ground, concerning people, resourcing, you know, how many consultants they need to be working with. They get quotes ahead of time often. You know, they have to forecast out how much R&D spend they need to hit the milestones they commit to. And for him, a big gauge on whether or not a project was on or on track is he would literally just look at how much money are they spending. And you'd think spending less money is a good thing, right? But in R&D, you're committing to a spend associated with progress. So if the spend isn't happening, the progress probably isn't happening, at least at the cadence you committed to. So it was always really an interesting way to kind of cut under a lot of these superficial metrics that we're talking about. Whew. We're pushing a mile, I think. I'm still learning this trail. Whew. I gotta keep switching. I know you can't see, but like I hold the phone in one hand and then I ball my fist up with my fingers tucked inside the glove in the other hand, because the fingertips get cold out here. It's chilly. But let's walk for a minute. Whew. Let's do a deadlift just to get our form. Oh, tight. But I can see stars. I think you can see black screen. Y'all are like, is it broken? Is it working? All right, we're at 1.36. Let's walk to about 1.5. Then we'll jog it back. And yeah. So with Skool and with gamification, there's the gamification on the grid, which is having very pointed conversations, very pedantic, pragmatic engineering conversations of like, hey, everyone on the surface is going to argue this is a good thing. Now, I don't think it's a good thing. I think it could be a good thing if you're in the right phase of your project. Like they give you like a fire streak if you haven't missed a day for 30 days. Like a lot of it is like rewarding hustle culture. And for me as a creative, one of the things I try to share is like, as a TikToker, way back when, I mean I still am, I used to be on TikTok for hours per day. Be scrolling, find something to duet a video, post it, scrolling, find something to duet it, post a video. I'd be in this like churn of consume, create. And I learned a lot by that immersion. And you know, the dopamine hits of when a video works or doesn't work, and the engagement does or doesn't get. Like, how is Pavlov's dog? And I mean, I could boast that I've done like 1,800 short form pieces of content. But what I would add to that is like, I didn't come up with my best ideas when I was in the context the whole time. Like, you have to, you gotta step out for a little bit. Take a break. Speaking of breaks, let's sit down on this bench for a minute. I think have we hit 1.5? Yeah, 1.48. So, I'll take a quick moment of reflection on the bench. Life is wild, friends. Let me check Skool. Let me go get my green square. But yeah, I found as a creative, like, you're not always gonna have your best ideas if you're always inundated on the platform. And actually, I'm just gonna warm up my fingers and enjoy some stillness. It is one of the wonderful perks of a little bit of frost on the ground. You get that nice crunchy snow. It's quiet, as opposed to social children be as well. But by break, rest, it really is countercultural to many aspects of entrepreneurship. And I don't have a perfect answer. I mean, I still do activity. Husband, email, like Sip's newsletter. There's always something that fills every aspect of our day. But we have to be very aware of when we are on and off. Forms different tasks, right? With use inspiration of your office, do your thing, drive home, and hopefully, if you're a good husband, not take work home with you. Like, use that bit of time to kind of process and release the stress and the fear of the day, and move into being present for the kid. The COVID brought about a new way that I don't have any problems with personally, of remote work and hybrid working, where you're jumping between feeding your baby and hopping on a Zoom and talking with your wife and going for a walk and working out and doing work, and everything crosses over. And while there's a lot of efficiencies that come with that, particularly less commute is a big one, one of the inefficiencies is the inability to tell yourself when a context is done, when it's had enough of your life. And a lot of people fail to regiment their rhythm of life, where they put their effort and their time. So I think that's what I was getting at with the post. It's like, for people to have a great sense of contentment that if there's one day of yellow on your block or your grid, heck, if there's 2 weeks of yellow on their grid, but you got some really great work done, it doesn't matter at all. Like, forget your fire streak and stuff like that, and just do the work necessary to progress your business forward. Because a lot of us get hung up on these external facing metrics and things. And what's measurable is important, but we can't let it block us from doing what's essential. All right, I'm gonna check Skool chat, and then I'm gonna check YouTube, and then we're gonna start to walk and jog back. Fridays are really a day, well, it's normally Wednesdays, but I'm making it Fridays, are a day where we lower the bar, where we do rest and recovery. We spend a little bit of time in reflection. We go live with our contacts, and we catch a sunrise, which is coming eventually. Brr, it's cold. Let's see. Skool, probably nothing here. Oh man, I'm letting it load. And then back to YouTube. And I don't expect much. It's dark out, and I'm a crazy person running, so it's like, what would I expect to happen? All right, let's go. Sometimes if I reset it, comments work. YouTube's super spacey with me.
Very hateful. All right, let's put our glove on. Let's get to it, friends. But hopefully, for those of you that are live or those of you that catch this after the fact, may you have discernment. There you go. That's a good fancy word for us today. May you have discernment on when these lovely platforms, as well-meaning as some may be, and as not well-meaning as others may be. I need to get a light. May you just be fully aware of how they affect you, how they direct you, how they influence, and ask yourself question: are they influencing you towards practices that will bring you success? And the question can be, maybe. Right? There are certain days where I am thankful for the social accountability and push to post and engage. I'm thankful that TikTok was so sticky that it like caught me. Yeah, and it made me keep figuring out ways to be creative. You know, had a little bit of that like monkey dance kind of mindset. I had to be trained a little bit. But eventually I caught momentum. I learned that if I took breaks from the platform, only went in for a couple minutes to find content I liked, copied the links over to a tracker on an application called Trello, and then like got off of TikTok, downloaded all 7 videos, recorded all my A-roll, all my snarky comments, auto-posted to everything with buffer. Like I found if I did these practices of self-removal so that I had space to think, I came up with way better content. Like my content's gotten so much better since when I started. I've been at it for 4 years. You'd hope you get better, not worse. I kept pushing my standard of quality higher and higher. And I found that I could put more content out the less frequently I was on there. You know, I go and I check my comments, I leave. It's a rhythm of life that isn't so common. Because humans can only be pulled across so many contexts for so long. Like I gotta check my Instagram, I gotta check my Facebook, I have to check my TikTok, I have to check my email. Oh, did I remember to like feed my kids? You know, like there's so many pieces that pull for our focus and attention. And we have to find a way to maintain presence and focus, because the majority of these platforms, at least the social media ones, which Skool loves to argue it's not social media. I have many, many thoughts on that. Maybe that's a podcast for another day. But many of these social media contexts are fixated on, focused on retaining our attention. Some would say for malice intent. I think it's business. Business is indifferent. For some reason this is very confusing, but I'm fairly confident that way. I really need to find a map of this thing and figure out how to like geo-position myself while I run through here so I don't freeze up and die. We're walking because it's recovery day. We ran a half marathon on Saturday. There's really no need for us to strain ourselves. If I start running again, it's literally just for warmth. But actually I feel fairly decent, besides a little bit of frost on my forehead. And I'm just enjoying the stars and the savannah. It's funny though, because when I walk I feel like I have a higher trip risk than running, just because my body's not kind of over the center of my foot. Whew. Yeah, lakes are freezing up. It's fun. Rivers are still deciding what they want to do. I gotta get a flashlight. Maybe that's what it is. I need like a shoulder light. Actually, I think I have a light I could put on this thing.
Whew. I'm figuring out where I want to take the conversation next. We have about a mile left. Yeah, let's get going. Nice and mellow. There's the motivation of like, I think I gotta pee. So I should probably get home. It's 6:01, my kids are gonna wake up soon. I gotta get home. It's too cold for this. But yeah, it was kind of a feisty post, because there's a lot of people that have just made school such an integrated part of their routine in life. They've been transformed from the sporadic engagement to every day, that they feel the need to defend it, which is totally fine. And for some of them, like, it's the season of development they're in, they should be on it every day. But I would argue the majority of people at the bottom who aren't winning the school games, who are in the messy middle of figuring out their business, how to build a compelling community, like those folks, those folks need to be very intentional about where they're putting their time and carving out space for reflection, creativity, work, doing hard crap, and then, you know, days where they go in and get this little boost. I'm actually thinking about, like, what if I was only on 3 days a week? I was like, that's revolutionary. But when I'm on, I'm on. Whew. We're in the middle of a trifecta of 3 things, all right? Cold, sore, out of breath. I was like, oh, I could keep running. That would help acknowledge the cold part of things. Or we could walk, and that'd be a little bit kinder to the out of breath kind of things. Laying down and taking a nap right here would help the soreness, but we'd also die very shortly. Whew. Fingertips. Yeah, I gotta get a light. And it's a bummer because I have attachments for this GoPro that include lighting. I feel like lighting would ruin it. It would make it better for you and worse for me. Does that make sense? Like, sure, I could totally light this path up. Like, I could get some 2800 lumens. We could go there, okay? Scare away deer and all kinds of crap. But I like running in the dark. And for you, stop looking at your screen. Close your eyes and listen. Maybe it's better for you, I don't know. We're so inundated with stimulus. Auditory, visual. You know, like, there's been studies. I say there's been studies. I know of studies and I'm about to totally like make up one. Okay, so this is in the engineering truthiness space, okay? I don't know what that spale is, but it's like special kale. There's been studies like from a sales perspective, and again, there's probably a real study or a series of them. If a salesperson, like you're buying a car, you're buying a piece of jewelry, if they can get you to touch something physically, quickly, it improves the odds of purchase. A connection occurs most of the time. Unless you touch and you're like, eh. Then it doesn't work, right? Like, the more you start touching stuff, like my wife, okay? Like, we've been looking for apartments. I can tell when an apartment is closer to a yes for her, when she starts touching things in it. Like, one of her big things, she argues it's for anything, but it doesn't happen in any apartment she goes to. She's like, I'm really worried about the water pressure. And for me, I'm like, babe, there is nothing you can do about that. Like, this is a rental. The water pressure is what it is because the water tower is the same height for everybody. It's physics. And I get really grumpy about it. And sure, there's like boosters and different shower head attachments you can change. But for her moment of decision, I think, subconsciously, her tell is when she will go and like start turning on water faucets. Big ones if she turns on the shower. Like, she just has to see it. She just has to know it's not awful. Because she's already decided she likes the location, the size, the price, the carpet, the features. And the water's like, that's the make or break for her. But if I was a realtor and I saw her turning on water faucets, I'd be like, I think this one's sold. Let's just buy this house. It's funny. So with applications, here we go. Here's the hook back to the, we're going back to the grid. Y'all, like, stop talking about the grid. You're wrong. I go to school every day and it's gonna make me profitable. Maybe. The idea with the grid, it incentivizes here we go. It incentivizes 10 activities. And maybe there's a post that explains exactly what there are, but it says a new user, it's opaque. What I mean by opaque, it's an intentional design element where you can see other people on the platform, their level, their communities, how many of their communities are paid, and how many people are part of that community. So you can immediately discern quote unquote success. Oh, this guy's running at me with a light on his head. Maybe I need to be like this guy. Also, I'm used to Japan, we walk on the left, but I actually got to move over to the right. But it's opaque, and this is important. But we're going to be quiet for a minute because I don't want to freak out our runner buddy who's out here before the park's open. Illegal. Morning. Yeah, cool thing about that, I can't even see him at all. I'm just blinded by a light. It's not very cool. He should have covered it with his hand for a second. Jerk. Just kidding. But it's opaque. And the reason opacity is important with software is you could see someone, you could see their perceived level of success or status. And right near the top of their profile, you see the grid. And then you could start to see like, whoa, this grid's all green and this person's making the green. And you start to form these subconscious like feelings of like, that's what it takes to make it here. That's the grind in this platform every day. And the other thing is, in order to get those cubes filled up, you have to go to your phone and check it and touch it. You gotta touch your notification bell. You gotta scroll through the school games wall and the community page. And these features, they're not made with malice intent. But the problem is for folks that aren't aware of the psychology behind this stuff, you could actually burn more time in this platform doing non-value added crap than like going out and scripting a course that actually would provide legitimate value to your community and focusing on it and then putting it out and being like, hey everybody, what do you think? Right? Then engage. That's a natural way to do something. If you're gonna throw a party at your house for Halloween, you gotta figure out what your theme is, what the food's gonna be. You gotta go out and shop. You gotta put everything together. You gotta make some cool invites, pass them out to your friends. And then when the day comes, you do all the prep in the morning, you lay everything out, people show up and you engage. And you're there with them. But 80% of the activity is not the party. And unfortunately, I don't think, maybe I'll be the strongest voice on this platform about it. You know, maybe I have to think of some creative routines to be off it more than on it, and to be public about it. Set reminders on when it's school time and when it's not school time. School time, build time, school time, build time, right? Like, intentionally stair step it like that. The other thing, the other fun gamification is the school games, which as an engineer has been very fun for me to dissect and understand, because it's it is not necessarily built. I'm gonna be very careful with my language, because I'm about to describe people that quote unquote have made tens of thousands and hundreds of thousands of dollars, right? Life-changing money. It is not necessarily incentivized around, I have to be very careful, especially coming from the voice of someone who hasn't made money on the platform yet. This is like super grain of salt territory, like super grain of salt, okay? Like, it's not necessarily incentivized around building a profitable business. It's incentivized around generating the highest amount of new monthly recurring revenue for Skool, which, if you have sound business principles, you would assume you would probably win the games and make money. But a sound business is going to grow at a steady rate, month by month by month by month. You're gonna be able to forecast what it costs to deliver your solution. You're gonna be able to build a team little by little. You're gonna lead with sales, most likely. You're gonna make sure your offer, your software, your coaching, whatever it is responsive to the needs of your community. You're gonna gain great testimonials, and each month you're gonna do better and better, and it's gonna stair step little by little. Skool creates a frenzy, and with a frenzy you can start to do crazy things. You can put out an offer that delivers an insane amount of value. You could deliver an offer that's so insane in value that it's actually not profitable to you based on the amount of people it takes to fulfill it. You can run at a loss for the whole month because you sell so low, even though your low price could still be high enough from a volumes perspective to win. And I don't know nothing about the two most recent Skool games winners, their business practices, their team. I mean, it seems like they're doing really well. They have a pretty strong value stack. Like, Socialmize is interesting to me, and like the credibility of that group seems fairly high. Like, and what they build and set up for you seems pretty darn good to pay $1,000 a month for. Same with the other AI one. But when they say, like, you know, normally we charge a $5,000 setup fee, and then it's $9,000 or $900 a month or whatever, I was like, then charge your $5,000 setup fee. And also, what do you mean normally you charge a $5,000 setup fee? Can you even expense that through Skool? Like, are you actually gonna raise your price so that people can't just join the community? They first have to invoice you $5,000 to start working with you. Like, sometimes the value stacks and the promise of a raised rate, I don't always believe it. And part of it's just like the hype around the games, but it closes people. And when the majority of your team's effort is put on racking up clientele and closing them, and then delivering value the next month, well, the first people that got in, are you making them wait to get what they ask? Because I have doubts that you're actually able to fulfill on your commitments the first 2 weeks, if those first 2 weeks are all in on setting up as many calls as possible to close clients. Now maybe you've scaled over a year or two on the platform and you're set up to make a run for the games, but it's like everyone makes a run for the games right off the bat instead of exploring the space. So those are interesting ways where gamification may get you the effort to get the visibility. Again, these are all assumptions. I don't know these winners and their business model. I have curiosity. They've likely made a heck of a lot more money than I am, right? Like, and lots of prior game winners like do seem like they've run off a sound business, good offers, and they just made it work. And that's awesome. I respect that. You know, I just have a little bit of skepticism, and I think skepticism's healthy. And then who knows, maybe I'll meet these folks and they'll be like, yeah, you're totally wrong. What you're saying doesn't make any sense. We made a ton of money. We delivered immediately because we had a very sound product and team. And that's the thing, that's the magic word there, is team, right? Whew. But normally when you see something explode like that, there's normally a gap between what you committed you could deliver and how you can actually hire, equip, and mobilize people to deliver the solution. That's the hesitation I see. Is can you then deliver it in a profitable way? Probably, especially if you coded it and it's great. I don't know, I'm about to join a community. I was like, well, if I'm gonna try to convince people to pay for mine, I guess I should pay for one and see how life-changing it really is at a given price point and get after it. My goal is to have the largest collective of big brains from an engineering perspective on Skool. So we'll see where all that lands. If I could really be that influential as a leader. And I'm in the messy in-between. I'm doing these live streams and nobody's here because I'm getting myself in the rhythm and routine of eventually, like, people are here and we're chatting and we're learning and it's cool. I'm making content that no one's seen, courses. I'm setting up onboarding structure to incentivize people to actually talk to each other. You know, I'm setting up my own gamification to see if I can make it fun and valuable for people to be part of the community longer and longer. But like every level reward isn't necessarily something every person will want. Like, yeah, I'm serving an interesting array of engineers, global leaders, and entrepreneurs, and normally you don't mix those three. Those are normally three different contexts. But I think having worked across all three, providing those three create one super avatar. At least that's my thinking, friends. But let's head to the car. Let me take you off my head. There's a hope you might be able to see my face, which is fun. It's very, very cold. It's now very, very cold. I mean, it's been cold the whole time, but we feel it on the fingertips. Not necessarily fun, but I love these things because I get to reflect and think. Like, I have some of my best ideas when I'm out on a run. Away. It's weird because I tell people to, like, get away, you know, from their digital vices or whatever it may be, to some extent. But at the same time, like, I'm over here on YouTube, like, how is that real? But for some reason, I found it kind of therapeutic for me, for people to ask questions and for me to answer them. So that's what we do here. It's quite lovely. It's quite cold. And we're getting it done. So gotta love that, right? We'll see once we turn on a warm car how we feel. Blimey, it is cold. Oh wow, they gave me all red lights. Why did we do this today? Of all the days, why did we decide to come out today, right? But hopefully, friends, if you see this, hopefully you get something out of it. Hopefully it's insightful and interesting. My hope is to provide as much value as possible online. It's kind of my personal mission. Help engineers, global leaders, entrepreneurs find their way. Because I think the way is really convoluted and confusing for a lot of people. It's opaque. We're not sure where the next foot will fall. And unfortunately, us engineering folk, we prefer to have everything well-defined and prescribed. And I just recorded like a video sales letter for my community. And my value prop is, you know, the journey of an engineer is undefined, disorienting, and isolating, which I believe to be true. And then like my commitment is to bound your problem space, like help you see kind of the edges that you're running up against, make it more clear, like providing clarity and making it more communal. But there's no way to solve it like a problem. Like even right now, I'm looking at all the jobs available in Chicago, North Chicago, in the med tech space, in the leadership pocket. I'm looking at my current skill set, and it's like things aren't optimal. Like I can't perfectly pick my job because it's opaque. Opacity is the big theme today, I guess. It's opaque concerning like how many people have actually applied versus how many people clicked to apply. The follow through is a factor. Ooh, fingers are becoming hard and they don't want to bend. You know, there's all these different confounding factors of like, how strong is my network? Oh man, are you really gonna make me take off? Shoot. Okay. Yeah, just look at the sky. You'll be fine. Whew. Crap. Where's the zipper? Oh my god, we're gonna die. Can you imagine if we lost our keys out there? That would be the end. That would be the end all of everything right there. That's a very bad day for Joe. Get in the car. Oh, shoot. I have to take off my other gloves. It's now becoming super dangerous. This is the cold hand. I can't do my zipper to get my keys out. Holy crap. Oh, it hurts. Ow, blood cells are dying and bursting. Permanent nerve damage. Oh, yay. All is well. Start the car. Don't worry, I'm gonna pick you up in a second. We'll chat, then we'll go. Whew, warm up car. Oh my god. Put you back in the gloves for a minute. Ah! It was good. Good decisions have been made. I think that was a good decision. We caught a sunrise. So yay us. Ugh. Almost died. But yeah, the majority of members in my community are likely looking for a new opportunity. I mean, I'm talking with folks right now who are trying to get it. You know, one individual is trying to get a job in Japan. And I'm like, I just worked in Japan. Do you know what you're trying to do, friend? Hey, Steven. Like, it's tough. And I'm trying to figure out, like, how do we position your skill set and talent with the right people to be seen the right way to actually get the opportunity you're really hoping for? And, I mean, one option is you just apply to everything, but I think I don't know if I subscribe to that option yet.
I'm on the. If you're ever doing anything groundbreaking, entrepreneurial, world-changing, you likely look crazy, and you likely feel crazy all the way until it works. And one of the things I'm doing is approaching the entire hiring process with a radically different perspective. And it is so hard to be faithful to that process because I legitimately believe it will work, but I haven't seen it work, and so much is at stake. Like, our family has been without health care, like health insurance, for like 6 months with 4 kids. That's really stupid. So, you know, the traditional pathway is you make a resume, you use some ChatGPT to optimize it for keywords, and then you apply to everything. And for me, I'm like, but what if we went all in on one job at a time, and we're like laser focused, like sniper versus shotgun, and having a cover letter that's perfectly contextualized to the manager and the team, you know, and then like do a virtual portfolio that's got a video that's optimized to the person, and trust that word of mouth internally will get me either that job or a different job. So that's the game we're playing right now. I'll let you know how it